I'm excited about the thought of buying our first home.
Yes, me too. Maybe we'll look up homes on computer.
Should not we call a realtor?
Or maybe drive around in car in neighborhood, look for sale sign.
Where do we start?
Hey, welcome to episode 1 of First Time Home Buying and Selling. I'm Josh Madison, residential real estate broker in the state of Arizona. Today's episode, we're going to be going over 2 questions you should be asking yourself, both starting with what. What is your why, and what kind of real estate market are we in? Asking yourself those 2 questions will help you on your journey for what the next steps are for you in the home buying process. So let's get into it. So what's your why? Why do you need to buy a home? If you currently rent, you have some benefits homeowners don't have. If your air conditioning breaks, you call the management company and they send a repair person over to repair or replace it. Any home repair is paid by them. If you own your home, the cost of the responsibility lands on you. I just replaced an air conditioner for my house at $5,300, and that was actually cheap compared to other estimates. But I had to. No air conditioning in the middle of summer in Arizona? Yeah. You gotta come up with the money and just figure out a way to pay it. I could actually make an entire episode comparing buying versus renting on its own, but the point is you need to know your why. Why do you need to buy a home? Some people may tell you, well, it's the American dream to buy a home. That's possibly been made up by the bankers that you pay your 30-year mortgage payment to that have come up with that dream to buy a home in America. You got to really know your why before you jump into that, because it'll help keep you focused as you dive into the home search, and it'll fuel your fire on any hurdles you encounter along the way. And speaking of the American dream and buying a home, another question you want to ask is, what kind of real estate market are we in? Is this a good time in the current economy? Economies can obviously change quickly, like we saw with the impacts of COVID-19. For the most part, real estate, just like stocks, precious metals, cryptocurrencies, they all seem to move up and down in kind of a cyclical manner. If you have a good realtor, they should be able to tell you the type of market we're in and what the current trends seem to be doing, going up or down. Trends are not necessarily nationwide. They can vary from one location to the next. So having a good realtor who knows the area and that you're looking to buy or sell can make a big difference. Let me give you an example. With the COVID-19 thing happening, California took a different hit than other places. A lot of people were looking to sell and get out of California for a lot of different reasons of things they agreed with or didn't with policies of how they were being handled. And what it did is put a lot of homes on the market at once, which flooded the market with inventory. So that actually made it harder to sell, and it drove prices down a bit because there was more places to pick from. There was more supply than there was demand because people weren't wanting to move into California as much as they were wanting to get out. So if you were a seller there, that might make a difference compared to being a buyer. Maybe you'll get a little better of a price. Now, how would that change another market? Maybe they were going to Oregon, Texas, Florida, Arizona, where the California money was going to, and they went to go purchase, created, not really a buyer's market. They drove prices up because they were buying up all the inventory, so it created a good seller's market in these other places. So they were able to hold prices or raise prices because of their inventory being bought up, and there was more demand than the supply. So you can see how that there's a difference there, and knowing your economy, knowing your market and what trend your market is in, and that'll help you, understand if it's a good time to buy and where things are going in the future, depending on what your why is. I also recommend doing a lot of your own research, of course, Watching YouTube videos can be really helpful depending on, who you're watching and the professional that is that's hosting the site. I would get as many educated opinions as you could to help you formulate what's best for your why. So to sum things up here for episode 1, we basically have 2 questions in mind that both start with what. What kind of economy or real estate market are we currently in? And what's your why? Write that down. Whatever your why is, write it somewhere, leave it somewhere you can see it throughout the process. Because writing your ideas down seem to have almost a magic first step feeling of bringing them to life, especially if you keep it somewhere that you can read it on a daily basis. It will help get the creative wheels in your brain turning and naturally lead you to the next question: what can you comfortably afford? We'll help you discover your hidden purchase powers you may not be aware of in episode 2. Hey, thanks for tuning in to episode 1 of First Time Home Buying and Selling. I left my website in the description below. If you have any questions or comments or anything you want me to cover in future episodes, you can click on the link and it'll take you right to my website. Thanks again.